one of the things that I've heard over the years is that, in certain cultures, there's this like unspoken code that if a woman in that particular culture dates out, she kind of gets ghosted or she pretty much gets excommunicated, right? I've heard this, that this happens in the white community sometimes. If a white woman decides to date out or to sleep with a black man, that she will be completely excommunicated, or that there are certain white men who just want nothing to do with her. I literally know a white woman who actually told me and had expressed to me that she was dating a white man who was actually going to break up with her because he thought that she might have slept with a black man. And so I've heard this. This has been confirmed from white women that I know personally on some level. And this is the same in in other communities. I've heard this in the Asian community too, where it's like if a woman dates out, kind of excommunicated. They're like, we don't really associate with you. And so this is called cultural gatekeeping. And I don't want to say this is every single person. I'm sure this isn't every single Asian person, every single white person. I'm not saying this happens all across the board. But what I'm saying is that this is a trend that can be found in certain cultures, right? So with that said, I was curious on whether or not this same idea and these same ideas can be found in the Black community. If there are Black men out there who by and large they don't really care if a Black woman has dated a white man or dated out or not, or if there are Black men who reserve the right to be like, if she's ever swirled, if she's ever even thought about going on a date with a white man or somebody who's non-Black, I'm not interested. I didn't really know. So I asked and I wanted to go over the response because I got some really good feedback. Black men only, you prefer dating Black women. That's the context, right? Your preference is Black women, which is most Black men. Does it matter if a Black woman you're interested in had a white or non-Black boyfriend in the past? Okay, so let's look through some of the responses. Here's this one got some really good feedback. It says, I don't date Black women that have dated Pookies or Chads. This is SYSBM forever. Now that's interesting because in my understanding, SYSBM definitely open to dating non-Black women for sure. Now some of them, to my understanding, prefer Black women, but they may go to other countries. Maybe they'll go to Haiti or Dominican Republic, whatever. But a lot of SYSBMers that I'm aware of are very open to dating non-Black women and actually prefer to do so. So I find that interesting that would be his response. Now here's another one, walking first thirst trap. It says, I wouldn't Black women who date out have some type of animosity towards Black men. Like imagine ending up with a divester, and I have never dated outside my race either. So that's pretty clear. I mean, I don't even think a divester would date. Well, I don't even know at this point, because it's like some of these divestors, they're like divestors online, but then in the real world, they're dating who they can get, which is Black men. I would hope no Black men would ever get with a divester, aka somebody who just hates Black people. That would be a nightmare. I would think that would not work out very well at all. So, but this comment is interesting because his belief is if a Black woman has dated out, then they have animosity towards Black men. That's his perception. So for him, he doesn't like dating Black women who have ever considered dating out because those Black women display some form of animosity or self-hatred towards Black men, Black people. Very interesting. Here's another one that says, I prefer Black women. I don't care who she dated in the past. The past is the past and doesn't concern me. So here's a man who's just like, well, I don't care as long as she's good for me and we work out that time. I don't care who she's been with in the past. I can understand that. Let's see some other ones. This one says, it matters most, in my opinion, if she's even been on a date with another group, she's cut. Okay. He's like, no. He said, yes and yes. Okay. Yes, if she has tried this world, do not make her your girl. Okay. So now here's another one that says, no, it doesn't matter. Here's one that says, met a woman I was really into, gorgeous, played soccer, told me she had a child. I said, no problem. I was patient and eventually saw her child. The dad was white, like redneck white, aborted mission. Just couldn't bring myself to do it. That's kind of difficult. Anytime you are bringing a stepdad to the situation, that's already going to be another level of complication. So, I mean, the fact that he was even considering her means that she must have been gorgeous, right? Because most men are just like, I just can't deal with it. So the fact that he was entertaining a single mom, seriously, she must have been really beautiful. But then you add to that the interracial component. That is very complicated because depending upon the politics or the ethos of the baby daddy, that could be a problem. Because, and this is what kind of gets complicated, right? You have white men who will date Black women and who are totally racist. But Black women can be considered less of a threat. And I don't want to go down the rabbit hole because I know not everybody's going to agree with that. But I think in general, people don't perceive women as much as a threat as they do men. So yeah, that's a whole rabbit hole. But at the end of the day, it could be complicated. It could be complicated already if you're dealing with another man in a relationship, and then if a man is of a different culture, that can be incredibly complicated. And then he mentions like redneck, and like that kind of has like a racial connotation, as in AKA racist. So that sounds complicated, and I'm not really mad at it, honestly. Another one here, it says, I did the pro-Black thing in the 90s. I moved away from that. That I never really fully understood like the pro-Black thing. I'm like, because you're never not Black. So either you like believe in yourself or you don't. So are you saying you believe in yourself into the 90s, but then you stop? I don't think I ever really fully understood what that meant. Because I know pro-Black has such a negative connotation, and I get it. There's a lot of scam artists out there, people who are just using terms just trying to get money out of people. So I understand that, but I'm like, but the idea of believing essentially in yourself and wanting to create a reality that helps improve yourself and your people, the fact that that's looked down upon as something negative, to me, it seems rather problematic. So that's why I'm like, I want to understand more what that means. And what's the alternative to not believe in yourself, to be against yourself? That's why I'm like, what's the alternative to being pro-Black? To just be individualistic and then just wait for everything to kind of disintegrate? I don't, I'd be curious to understand more there. Here's another one, for sure, that's one of my deal breakers. Now this one, he says, it matters her DNA has been damaged. If she's had unprotected or oral sex with a white guy due to the genes of that's different. The DNA's been done. That's the first one. So the DNA's been damaged. What? There is something to be said about, I think it's microchimerisms, which is, I think there's more theories behind this. I don't know if it's ever been proved, but it's this idea that anytime a woman has sex with a man, his genetic material remains in her body. So yeah, if a Black woman has had sex with white men or multiple white men, that's quite likely that there is white genetic material left in her body that's not necessarily outside of the realm of possibility. I guess for him, that's a deal breaker. It says Black women that dates white men are worse than Black men that dates white women. So this is funny. It's like I'm hearing the divestors argument, but in the reverse. Because usually I hear Black women being like, oh, well, Black women do it, it's fine. Black men do it, it's bad. But now he's doing the reverse. Here's the one he says, I prefer if she never tried other races, but it's not a deal breaker. He says, here's one that says, I wouldn't care unless he is a felon with a rusty prison shark or part of some kind of supremacist gang. Okay, so this dude doesn't care. Here's one that says, yeah, but matters. The ones that say it doesn't lied. He's like, y'all are lying. Y'all are lying. Okay, I'm not worried about anybody that came before me. Okay, here's one, and of course not. Here's another one that says, as long as there is no history of dating multiple felons, I have no issue. So okay, really, it seems mixed. It really seems mixed. This says, I get it. However, as long as she's loyal today, I don't care about her past. It seems mixed. Now, I didn't really see any of the comments explained in too much detail why specifically they are completely turned off by a woman who even considers dating and marrying out. We had the one guy who said, usually because she's self-hating. And I don't know if that's the primary reason. If you guys think so, let me know in the comment section. Now, I have heard this before from some men, and y'all let me know if you agree with this. Another reason I've heard some men say that they do not mess with a woman who has previously swirled is because there's this belief that, look, once you've had sex with a man, you spiritually do become one with that person. Spiritually do become one. And let's say you're a Black man who wants a Black woman, and you very much are like, you want to improve the Black community, or you are very much in favor of wanting to help build a better reality for Black people. If you have previously become one with a white person, or in some sense become spiritually one with a person who actually has a white supremacist ideology, he's like, that spirit, that mentality could in some way, shape, or form start to hinder your overall goal. And it can start to act as a defiance or create problems in that man's goal to try to help build a better reality for his Black community. So I've heard that before. kind of go, and that kind of alludes to the comment that the person said before, that like, hey, a Black woman is dating or swirling, she doesn't like Black people, or she doesn't like Black men. That can be a problem. I don't know. This is just what I've heard. I could be totally off base here. This could just be something a few people believe. But what do you guys think? Do you guys believe, once a woman sleeps or entertains relationships with people of other races, that it's hard for her to really come back and to not only be loyal to you, but to also really be loyal and love her people and try to help improve their reality? If that is even what you want to do. Some men don't care. They're just like, look, I just want to have a nice life. Forget about Black folks, forget about everybody else, and they don't really care about that. But if you're a person who's like, hey, not only do I love myself, I am invested in wanting to build a better future for my community, do you think that matters? I don't know. I'm not a man. I don't pretend to have the answer to this, but I'm really interested in your guys' feedback. Let me know what you think. Leave your questions, comments, concerns in the comment section below. If you haven't already, be sure to check me out on Instagram, Substack, X. Always, there's so much stuff going on in X. TikTok. Thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later. Bye.